Do you want to start off? We'll embargo this till 12 o'clock on Tuesday.
Pretty straightforward question, David. Just how important are the cups to you this season?
Well, I just said, I think it's a question every journalist asks every manager. And in some ways I think, are those journalists dead stupid? Do you think none of the managers want to win the cups? Of course we all want to win the cups. So the answer to yes, the cups are hugely important. Would it be more important than staying in the Premier League? If I asked you that question, is winning a cup more important than staying in the Premier League?
No.
What would your answer be?
I'd say staying in the Premier League for the minute.
So there you go. You've half answered it. So, but of course we want to do well in the cup. I can't think of any manager who would want to run a good run in the cup.
With that in mind, would you see it as an opportunity for squad rotation, or would you more like just play the
It's a good question, you know.
You've got?
I done it last year. We didn't win at Wolves, but our first game was Mansfield. We've got a much tougher game at Preston. Preston will be a good side, and obviously it's me going back to where I started as well. And so, but we've also got a lot of players who are looking as if they're playing. Tyler Diblin's played better. You know, Keno and Big Jake are around as well. So we've got quite a few players who could easily be very highly classed as first team players. So I've not even thought about it. I was more keen on just getting this game played and over.
Paul?
I was just wondering what you thought your most important learning experience was while you were manager at Preston. I mean, what was that grounding like for you to? Yeah,
good question for Preston was Preston was a brilliant job for me. It really was, and I've got a lot of thanks to the chairman there and the people behind it, Brian Gray, Derek Shaw. The people behind it were incredibly supportive, and look, we went through the leagues and nearly only lost in the playoff final to Big Sam's Bolton to get in the Premier League. So it was a brilliant experience for me, and I would be recommending all the young, and I know there's loads of young coaches, and you know, you're better going and earning your stripes and trying to find a way through the leagues than getting thrown in where it's difficult at the start. I was really fortunate that I had been a player there, an assistant manager there, or assistant coach as well, and when I got the job, I had a little bit of knowledge of the club, maybe what the players needed, and it was a great learning experience. Brilliant club to go to. And I'm just saying this, Joyce, just for references. The thing about Preston North End was Sir Tom Finney was the sort of the pillar, and still is. And he used to come in have a cup of tea with me on a Friday before a game and talk in the early days. And he was legendary and still is. So he's really the pillar of how I see Preston.
Is there anything he said to you that you've carried through you?
Do you know that he was incredibly positive, and you know, I could have said it at the time, you know, tomorrow I'm playing 4-4-2, and he'd have said yeah. But the biggest things I used to ask him about was, you know, he was renowned for beating players. I remember asking him, saying, he says, well, they'd overcover one side, I'd just take them on the other side, you know. And now we're talking about, it was him and Stanley Matthews, who were probably competing all the time to be the sort of the best players at the time, I think, in the UK. And he says, they would try and kick me and I would just ride the tackle. And it was as if none of it bothered him. He had an answer to whatever the defenders were going to do against him. And he was great that way. And obviously, I probably didn't see him play. A few clips, but I probably didn't see him play. I was too young. But he was a great man, and for Preston, he's a big thing for Preston. Yeah. Right, see you later.